You know what it is, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
You know who it is, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Ode, Maurice, Ode, Maurice.
Maurice, Ode, Maurice, Ode.
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy. It's the Black and Snerdy podcast with Ode and Maurice.
Welcome again to another episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast, where two black sexy nerds come together each week to talk about shit. You know, just talk about whatever the fuck is going on. Some stuff you're, are, hey, that might be a fascinating thing. And other things, who knows? It's just what we bring to the table. I, of course, am Maurice, a.k.a. Kid Licorish.
And I'm Ode.
Okay, again, we have to get you a nickname that's other than Odie.
Oh, what were you saying? Odashaway? I should use that much.
Sure, Odashaway.
I don't know if I'm feeling Odashaway. I don't know.
Oh,
I guess yours is Kid Licorish. Mine is one from childhood.
what about Oh Damn?
Oh damn.
Oh Damn.
'Cause that's what people say when they see me. Oh damn.
Yes, sure. That is exactly what they say. They look at you and they're like, "Oh damn."
No.
Yeah, we exactly agree. We're in agreement. That's exactly how they. How are you doing this week?
They're like, "Oh damn."
How are you doing this week?
I'm doing damn good.
All right, that's good to hear.
Well, yeah, how am I doing this week? Yeah, I think in general, for the most part, things are good.
Okay, that's
How are
good
you
to
doing?
hear. I'm all right. Things are the way that they are. So, things are going pretty well. Had some ups, had some downs, but overall can't complain.
Good.
All right. So, now that we've gotten the formalities out of the way, let people know who we are, what we do, let's get into some Q&A with O and M.
Q&A with M and O.
Yes. These are some questions that we ask each other just to get to know the host a little bit better. So hit me with these questions.
Well, first, can you not assault me on?
First off, that was not an assault.
Yes.
That was not an assault. I grabbed for the cards and you moved the cards away. And what was there?
Y'all
was
saw what was going on here.
Bosoms, I guess you want to call them.
Bosoms.
Yeah. These crash test dummies.
Oh, God. Anyway, here's your first one.
All right. My first question is, what meal do you prepare best? I was thinking it was what meal of the day.
Well, you can say whichever one, which meal of the day or which particular meal.
Because, I would think if they wanted to know what, dish, they would say dish.
But I think it's either one. Which type of meal, what time of the day meal.
I think I'm really good at breakfast. Breakfast is straight to the point, easy to make. You got your bacon, you got your eggs. There's not real skill when it comes to making breakfast. You know what I mean?
I would disagree.
Okay, well, not everybody is making a frittata every goddamn morning. You know what I mean? You don't have to. But
even with bacon and eggs, you can still put some love in your food.
You don't have to.
That's
the point.
You can tell when you don't.
Nah, not really.
Yeah.
It's just breakfast. It's so simple.
It's the most important meal of the day.
Yeah.
You can put some love into it
so simple.
Even if you're making toast, you can make toast in a way that's
I've never had I've never had a piece of toast that made me think that somebody loves me.
Well, you haven't had some toast. That's delicious then.
I've had some toast.
You haven't had delicious toast.
First off, it's just burnt bread. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is why I know that you have not had really good toast, because the fact that you could just call it just burnt bread when it is a top tier.
Toast is the most basic ass fucking food to make.
But when you have a good toast,
in the toaster,
it is delicious. Anyway, all right. So breakfast is yours. For me, am I gonna pick a type of dish? Am I gonna pick a dish or am I gonna pick a time? Okay, I'm gonna say. What is it? Is it your favorite dish or your best dish?
Your best. What meal do you prepare the best? Or prepare best? What meal do you prepare best?
I don't know. This is hard. Because I was going to say dinner, but then I was thinking about... Because I feel like technically lunch and dinner could be the same meal, honestly.
No, they can't.
Yeah, it can. Because I can make a
unless you're
a
like
burger
an old person.
I can make a burger for breakfast, I can make a burger for lunch, or I could also make a burger for dinner. So regardless of whether time I make it, it's going to be delicious. It's a burger, but you can eat them for either or.
Well, yeah, sure. By that logic, you can also make cereal for dinner.
Yeah, but that's not like, you're not going to... There's sometimes lunch goes into dinner, but... I mean, I guess if dinner goes into breakfast, that means you had a good night. A late dinner, a late lunch does not turn into, or a late dinner doesn't turn into breakfast. Anyway, unless you're eating, I guess, at like 11:30 in the evening, and then you start eating at midnight. So technically, it could be breakfast. But either way, it's still a late. That's a dinner.
Breakfast is
that's a late dinner.
Like anything past 4:35 a.m.
is breakfast. Yeah, so it's a late dinner. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna pick.
It always made me wonder, like in the Tolkien books, hobbits have like second breakfast and second meals and shit like that. Like, how often are hobbits eating? Like,
a lot,
what are their
all the
eating
time.
habits?
They're eating all the time.
Is that why they're just sloths? Like they don't like.
They're not sloths.
They
just know how to have a good time. They hang
look
out.
Up how many meals?
First of all, breakfast. You eat breakfast at 8 a.m. Second breakfast 10 a.m. because maybe that's a smoothie or some toast or some fruit.
They take 7 meals daily: breakfast, second breakfast, 11sies, luncheon, afternoon tea, dinner, and supper.
I personally find no problem with that.
The fuck is different than dinner and supper?
Because, listen, breakfast is going to be your full meal. Breakfast is maybe your bacon, eggs, and toast. Second breakfast, fruit, smoothie, something small. 11sies, probably a little snack. I'm going to have some cheese and crackers. Luncheon, I'm going to have maybe like a little hors d'oeuvres, little lunch hors d'oeuvres, little charcuterie board. Afternoon, or no, actually luncheon's lunch. You're going to have your full lunch.
Yeah, that's all
Afternoon
lunch.
Tea. You're going to have your tea, your little biscuits, your cookies, your little finger sandwiches. Dinner, full meal, supper, little late night. Maybe it's another cheese and cracker. Maybe it's a piece of bread with peanut butter.
In a day.
It's
that's
not. That's
entirely
actually
too many.
I think that's a
How are you
perfect
burning
amount
off all those calories?
It doesn't matter. Who cares? You're eating. And anyway, just because you're eating 7 times a day doesn't mean everything you're eating is like 1,000 calories.
And
they walk around a lot.
You just said, are you a hobbit?
Might be.
You walk around a lot, care about all these meals. You might be a hobbit.
I might be. I like.
Let me see your feet.
I enjoy meals.
You got some fur on those toes?
I have no fur on my toes.
Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna look up hobbit feet and compare them to yours.
Maybe I'm like a different type of hobbit.
Oh yeah, you got hobbit feet.
I do not have hobbit feet.
Yeah, you do.
No, I do not.
Look at these toes. Look at these feet.
I do not have
you
hobbit
have hobbit feet. It's okay
No,
to have
I
hobbit feet.
don't.
I'm not body shaming you. I'm just
I do
out
not
that you-
have, first of all.
For the ladies and gentlemen out there
And
in
thems.
the podcast, everything in between. Odie has hobbit feet.
No, I do not have hobbit feet.
What's the next question?
That's just because you can't cook. You want to take it out on me because I can enjoy all my meals.
Okay, you hobbit in your hobbit feet.
Well, I'm a hobbit enjoying all my hobbit meals.
In your hobbit feet.
What are the foods you remember from childhood?
Oh my goodness. What is up with this meal
I'm a
question?
hobbit.
Yeah, you are a hobbit. Okay. I would say Teddy Grahams, Dunkaroos.
Those are not meals. Those are snacks.
It says, what are the foods you remember?
Oh. Okay.
Ass. Anyhow.
You're right.
So I would say Dunkaroos, Teddy Grahams. They used to make these pink icing frosting cookies. Mm-hmm. They came
like
in
the
like
sugar cookies with the...
Yeah. Well, they weren't sugar cookies. I forget what kind of cookie they were, but they came in a pink bag. I wonder if I could find
the one with the sprinkles on them?
No, I hated the ones with the sprinkles on them. They just had pink icing.
Were they kind of like, were they animal cracker ones? Because I remember
Yeah,
they had
were.
animal crackers with the pink icing. I like those.
Yes, pink icing animal crackers.
Yeah. I think they still make these.
Stouffer's
Those would make sense because I feel like that.
Were they
brand,
Stouffer's? They came in a pink bag, but they
were
didn't have
iced.
sprinkles. I think these are them.
Those look like them.
Animal cookie iced. They look like them.
They do.
They
I'm
might-
gonna find a bag
Yeah, me too. I feel like the bag was bigger.
because sometimes they had vanilla flavors too.
But these are them, just
Those are
without the sprinkles. I didn't
Yeah.
like the sprinkles. I didn't like the ones with the sprinkles.
I'm
flavor.
not really a big sprinkle person.
Yeah, I think these were them. Anyhow, what about you?
Those were all the ones you had.
Yeah, I was big into sweets back then.
All right, my the foods I remember. Well, sloppy joes.
Oh, Crustables.
My mom would never buy Crustables because she said we could make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at home, and Uncrustables were more expensive.
Well, you missed out
I know I did.
because Crustables were
I always wanted them, but
fucking delicious. Oh, and Lunchables.
I also
If we're
didn't-
talking about Uncrustables,
I also didn't.
Lunchables.
My mom wouldn't buy those because they were more expensive, and you could just make a sandwich.
At a certain point, it starts to sound like child abuse.
It's not child abuse. I'm sorry we were poor and we didn't live in a life of privilege like you did,
I don't
where you
know.
could afford all these snacks.
Were you using silk milk?
No. Or if we did, it was a once in a while sort of situation.
Were you?
We were eating no frills, no frills, whatever you could get on WIC or EBT. Mm-hmm. And then, sometimes she would like splurge on a name brand something.
Okay.
Depending on what it was. But let's see. Okay, my snacks, or foods, sloppy joes for sure. Mm-hmm. I always liked when she would make pork and beans. Those were my favorites.
Oh, my grandmother used to make the shit out of some pork and beans.
Chili with corn in it. I like that.
With corn in it?
I like chili
That
with
seems
corn
like an
in
odd
it.
choice.
I also like cornbread with corn in it, and I didn't realize
That also seems like an
why
odd choice.
it's cornbread. Why
Yeah,
would
but
there
it's
be
not-
corn in the
Why
bread?
would there be corn in
It's
the cornbread?
cornbread.
It's like that, but that's not corn. Like, it's not the same type
It's
of corn. It's like cornmeal.
bread.
It's not corn.
It's from a corn, so the corn can't be in the corn.
corn. Oh my goodness.
So you
So
would
now I'm
take
looking
the
this
corn
up.
out the corn.
Corn and cornbread.
They're the same thing. Just it's ground up corn. It's cornmeal.
and cornbread.
People eat it like that.
Corn. It doesn't even come up as soon as I type it. Cornbread. Corn and cornbread. Let me go to.
It's a thing. It's delicious.
Why am I in Google Shopping?
That's curious. Okay, what else? Oh, well, definitely Dunkaroos. Firecrackers. The Mr. Softy, of course. I also really liked those little Fun Dip things. I know you used to just eat the sugar packets from the little packets of sugar.
Yeah. Why did I give a fuck about that little stick? Who needs a stick? It's in the way. I know it was candy too, right? Like, just eat the stick and then just eat the powder.
Also, candy cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
I used to.
My mom did not like us eating candy cigarettes.
We would get them from. They were
They
25
were,
cents.
and they were so chalky.
They were 25 cents from the ice cream
do you
man.
remember those little jug juices?
Well, my mom wouldn't let us drink those.
Okay.
Because of all the dyes.
Oh, because of all the dyes.
Yeah, it was,
Okay.
it was not real juice. So even though we were poor, she tried to make sure we were eating as healthy as possible.
All right.
So
well,
a lot of those things, fruit roll-ups, Gushers.
Oh, Gushers.
What was that other
Love
one?
Gushers.
What was it? She used to buy us those like organic, healthy fruit roll-ups that you get at the grocery store in the fruit aisle.
Sad.
Where they're like
really
fruit
sad.
leather. It was tasty. I liked
Fruit
it.
leather.
I
Ugh.
like fruit leather.
Disgusting.
But that's why I have a very expansive palate now because I know what food tastes like, unlike those who are only given processed foods.
No, you
regardless
have
of their
a wide
parents'
palate because you're a
budget.
hobbit. This has been established. You are a hobbit, so that's just what it
I
is.
like all foods.
All right.
I think that there's probably way more, but I feel like that pretty much
Sure.
takes it.
Answers all the questions. Thank you. This has been Q&A.
O&A with Q&M.
No, Opie and Anthony is not their show.
Were they the racist ones with blackface? Or were they
I
the
would
black?
be-
They were the black people who
No,
were
they
doing
were
blackface.
white. They were
Or
definitely
the white
white.
people who were doing blackface.
They-
Because what
I
was the
wouldn't
name?
be surprised.
What was,
if-
no, but who were the black people
Hold on.
who were on the Chitterlings
Oh,
circuit?
you're talking about
Amos and Andy?
Amos and Andy.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Opie and Anthony.
Well, who were both
They were
did
like
blackface.
shock jocks.
But they were both They both did blackface. They both were around the Chitlin Market. I feel
you're Opie and Anthony were shock jocks.
They were like real. Oh,
this is Opie and Anthony.
Yeah. You're right. But what were there was a white comedian group.
Are you talking about Amos and Andy?
But were because Amos and Andy were black. But there was a white like version of them that was obviously even more like racist because they were white, and I can't remember. But they were they piggybacked or copied, of course, Amos and Andy, and like they had their whole act. But either way, y'all could look it up. In
White Amos,
racism in media,
and Andy
101.
There's Amos and Andy. Amos and Andy. What was it about Amos and Andy? Amos and Andy. Original Amos and Andy. Amos and Andy.
Look up white comedic group blackface 1900s. Comedy duo. Blackface 1900s. I honestly say 1900s might come up with like something from 1999, but it's crazy we were born in the 1900s and that's like a thing.
Yeah,
that's like a thing now.
Old. We're old ass people. Blackface, the birth of American stereotype. List of entertainers who performed blackface. Oh, that's too many. That's too many.
And they need to be a duo.
This is just A through C.
We haven't even scrolled, and that's not even all of them.
Shit! Jack Black did blackface and Beacon Rewind. I don't remember that.
I don't remember that,
but I wouldn't be surprised.
He did have that Scrubs episode.
Yeah.
No, you gotta look up
Bing Crosby. Yeah.
That's not.
I knew about Billy Crystal too. Okay. Can we? Was it Burt Williams and George Walker?
Let me see them.
No.
Okay. But, okay. Well, either way, moving along. Speaking of,
we haven't done this.
I was speaking, but sure, thank you.
Yes.
I hate when you do that. It throws me off. Anyway, are you ready?
Folks, where's the lie?
I'm ready.
So you're purposely trying to derail me so the show can be 10 hours.
No, I'm ready.
You're not ready.
I'm ready whatever you are.
Move your hand away from the buttons because you're not ready. And I'm telling you right now, we're starting off with something important, and I don't want you Mauricing it up.
Mauricing it up?
Yes.
So now my name is a fucking verb.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes. Continue.
Our viewers would like to see you. All right. So we have some great news outside of Baltimore. Your hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be very interested in this. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever heard of Henrietta Lacks?
No.
Never.
No.
Okay. Well, Henrietta Lacks was a black woman who lived in Baltimore, had her family in Baltimore in the early, maybe 1930s or so. But she and her family lived in Baltimore. A lot of her family's still there. But I believe it was 70 years ago, 1951, she had went to Johns Hopkins for treatment. She was sick. She was having some gynecological issues. Over the course of her treatment, the doctors found out that she had cancer. I believe it was ovarian cancer. And they did a course of treatments for her, but without her knowledge, they found that, or her consent, they found that her cells did not die. So they continued her treatment. Did they do the best they could to make sure she survived? Who knows? But after she passed away from the unsuccessful treatments and her cells didn't die, these doctors used her cells to create pretty much majority of the vaccines we have now, all the way from the polio vaccine to the COVID-19 vaccine. Her cells have literally been used by doctors around the world for decades and decades and decades, and her family has seen literally none of it. Because her genes, I mean, like your cells generally die outside the body or whatever. They have a shelf life. But the fact that someone's cells are immortal is very, very rare. And there was a book about her life called The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, which was written by this white woman named Rebecca Skloot. And Oprah made a movie about it in 2017 where I believe she plays Henrietta Lacks, either Henrietta Lacks or someone in her family. Okay, so
her cancer cells are the source of the HeLa cell line, the first first immortalized human cell, and one of the most important cell lines in medical research. An immortalized cell line reproduces indefinitely under specific conditions, and the HeLa cell line continues to be a source of invaluable medical data to the present day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, she was born in 1920. She died in, I believe, 1951 at age 31. And I mean, her life, even though she would never know, and her family only recently found out, has been so critical to science. And her family, like after the book came out and people started learning more and more about the family story, they started doing different, what is the word? Not petitions. There started being more of an ask of like getting this family money, which the family it's not like this is the first time they've asked about it or talked about it, but over the years they just didn't have enough people behind them and support. And so after the book, after the movie, and on now they've in the last few years gotten Ben Crump on their team. Her family has finally reached they reached a settlement with the multi-billion-dollar technology company that owns the cells called, if I can find it, well, I'll find it. Either way, they're having a settlement after 2 years of fighting about this, and it came out on Henrietta, what would have been Henrietta's 103rd birthday.
Okay.
So I think that this is amazing. We need more of this to happen. I think her family should be getting a multi-billion-dollar settlement because they've been using medical science, have been using their mothers and grandmothers, great aunts, family members' cells for all these years, and nobody has ever compensated them. And they also did it without consent. So it's just a reminder of how shitty this country is, that they will both kill you and use your body for medical science and research without your consent. Which, I mean, that something like that did happen recently, where this janitor, I think, at either Yale or Harvard, was found to be selling black people's body parts on the black market.
Jeez.
And he got arrested with his cronies who were doing it.
Yeah.
So,
well, it looks like on January 31st of this year, Thermo Fisher Scientific settled with the Lacks family on undisclosed terms.
yeah, Thermo Fisher Scientific.
Yes.
So they probably do lots of medicines. You've seen them before, heard of them before. It's on your little prescriptions. But, this is good news.
Sure.
Now for some shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I asked you to pull up a video and hold it. It's the one with Regina King.
Sure.
Now, I'm going to give you some background. On this video, it's an episode of, I found out after some digging, this is from an episode of, like, Ancestry or something like that. But it has been making the rounds because of what Jennifer, what's her name? What is Ben Affleck's ex-wife's name?
Ben Affleck's
the one that was
ex-wife. Jennifer Garner?
Jennifer Garner. Yes, we have some problematic Jennifers this year, or ones that have been catching the ire of Black Twitter this week. This is video one of, or Jennifer one of one. Can you play the clip?
So it's called Dinner Party, The American Experience.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
So, it's on mute. So first, what's your name? Chelsea Handler is like talking to everyone. You can press play. I can talk over it. And I can't hear it.
Let's talk about our families maybe first.
Okay, so
where we
Chelsea's
came
we're
from,
at
where
dinner
our
with all these
parents
different. You can play it while
You
I
can
talk.
give context, and then I'll play it.
They're at dinner with several celebrities around this table, and Chelsea brings the conversation to Regina. Okay, click play.
Let's talk about our families maybe first, where we came from, where our parents came from. Why don't you start, Regina?
I grew up here in LA, born and bred. One of the few people that are born and bred in LA. So that's, I think, a very cool thing, and I kind of wear it on my chest very proudly because so many people say, oh, LA is this and LA is that. And I'm like, well, you're not from LA, so you don't really know it.
But do you know where your ancestors are from?
Well, yeah, we're part of the Triangle slave trade.
Okay.
And,
sorry. No, you can press play so she can say the rest of what she says.
from Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Senegal. But my parents are both from the South, met each other here. To this day, I'm totally grateful my mom left. My mom was the one that was like, I am.
So, did you understand why people were upset with her?
A little, but you can continue.
Well, people were upset because they felt like Jennifer asked that in a very weird, snarky way, and in the like, "Oh, where are you from?" Because even though the show is meant to discuss people's backgrounds, I would be curious to watch this episode to see if she asked anybody else where their ancestors are from. Like saying, "Oh, like where's your family from?" or like, "Has your family always been in LA?" I feel like that would make sense to me, but like. Where your ancestors from? Man, where are your ancestors from?
Yeah. Like, I'm thinking, because I'm reading the quote, but do you know where your ancestors are from? Like, it's just feels like a clueless white thing to say.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does. And that is a really good segue into another clueless white person. Mm-hmm. Now, this anger, I feel like, has been very justified. Mm-hmm. Now, just a little background for you. Jamie Foxx, over the weekend, tweeted out a post on his, or posted something on his socials. I don't know if it was just his Instagram. That's where I saw it. And it said, it said something along the lines of, they killed Jesus. What do you think they would do to you? Hashtag fake friends, like fake love. But the key part is, the hashtag said fake friends.
Okay.
So apparently, white people online assumed that he was talking about Jewish people. Now, this is where we get into the white people minding black people's business, yet having no clue about like black people, vernacular sayings, etc., etc. So because people assumed he was being anti-Semitic, because there are many white people who are non-Jewish white people who use that term, that phrase, to try and enact a sort of stereotypical anti-Semitism, exclusion, etc., which is not something that is unheard of. I mean, I know like during... If you look at history during the World War II, when Jewish people were trying to get asylum, that was a big rhetoric that was used to both exclude them from getting asylum and then while they were here, exclude them from opportunities. Yes? And then even in the church, that used to be an old rhetoric of like just, religious bigotry and like, oh, they killed Jesus, which is what like Hitler said. But in the black community, I've never heard someone say that phrase in an anti-Semitic way. I've only ever heard that phrase used in ways I've heard it used in the general, I would say like in the general Christian world of like, if someone's people killed Jesus. Mm-hmm. So why, like, and Judas was his friend. Why do you think that someone would not betray you?
Right.
And so after this assumed anti-Semitic comment, Jamie Foxx, being who he is, he's never one to try to be any controversy. He put out a statement saying, I want to apologize to the Jewish community and everyone who was offended by my post. I know my choice of words have caused offense, and I'm sorry. That was never my intent. To clarify, I was betrayed by a fake friend, and that's what I meant with they, not anything more. I only have love in my heart for everyone. I love and support the Jewish community. My deepest apologies to anyone who was offended. Nothing but love always, Jamie Foxx. Now, that, honestly, it was like no big deal. Yeah, there was confusion. He apologized. It wasn't something he necessarily needed to apologize to, but if he created confusion or people misunderstood what they meant.
It's good to, clear the air.
Just clear it up. That's not what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, Jennifer Aniston entered the chat. Now, well, not for whatever reason. She had liked his post.
Sure.
And then I guess people were getting in her ass about liking the post because they assumed it was anti-Semitic. So she posted up, "This really makes me sick. I did not like this post on purpose or by accident." That's confusing. "And more importantly, I want to be clear to my friends and anyone hurt by this showing up in their feeds. I do not support any form of anti-Semitism, and I truly don't tolerate hate of any kind, period." And I just am very confused. One, how do you not like something on purpose or by accident? Because you have to have liked it for somehow.
There should be some level of accountability, whatever direction it is.
Because I've liked things on accident.
Yeah, I've liked things on accident.
I've liked things on purpose.
Yeah.
I've never just liked something without.
This is why I don't like anything on social media ever anymore. I stopped liking anything. I don't want to feed the algorithm. I'm already feeding the algorithm with my searches.
Yeah.
I don't want to feed any more bullshit just from liking Stephanie's fucking post about her dumb cats or anything like that so I can get more cats.
Why is Stephanie in it?
Because it's her fucking dumb cats.
But it's
fucking
just the
Scruffles
fact
and Mr.
that
Marbles or whatever the fuck it is.
This is just this situation is very similar to several situations. Mm-hmm. One, where white people are in black people's business and then want to try to call us out for being hateful and bigoted because when they say things, are generally hateful and bigoted and assume that others are too. When what's his name? The Dream said that that Beyonce and Jay-Z were on CP time, and all those white people got offended, saying that he was being ableist because they didn't know that CP meant colored people.
What did they think it meant?
They thought they were
people,
like CP, like the what is that? Oh, cerebral palsy. They thought
cerebral palsy.
They thought they were making.
They thought that he was saying something.
Because there are people with cerebral palsy who have difficulty walking, so they might be slower. So they were context cluesing or whatever. And perhaps is that a slur in the cerebral palsy community? I have no clue. I've literally never heard.
I've never heard
anyone make fun of people with CP.
Me neither.
In that way. However,
I've never even heard of it just called CP.
I've never heard of it called CP in abbreviations, but I've never heard anyone making fun of anyone with CP in that way. But white people, of course, they were aghast.
Take things out of context. Just run with a narrative.
But there's a whole Twitter feed of a Twitter post about people talking about this. One person said that they were in their in college. They watched. I think it was. Either it was Spike Lee film, maybe it was Do the Right Thing or whatever. And in the movie, one of the characters says somebody's dogging them out. Mm-hmm. And the professor with their whole entire chest said that dogging someone out meant having sex doggy style. Mm-hmm. And when she raised her hand to say, no, that's not what it means. It just means you're talking about the person badly. The professor was vehemently disagreeing and you don't know. And I think that this is just another one of these cultural situations where it's I saw something, a Korean person on social media that I follow. Mm-hmm. They make comedy videos or whatever. And they were talking about how they made a video they're Korean, but they were making a video about how in Chinese, they're just, I forget the word, if it was like maybe how or huh or something like that. But when you say it, it sounds like you're saying the N-word. And so they were making this jokey video about like the white person in the video had like learned this. And so they were going to Chinatown and like saying the word. We didn't hear them say it. We just see them like frolicking around because they're like, I know this Chinese word.
Yeah.
And it was like, there were all these people in the comments talking about different words, like in Chinese or Korean, etc., that might sound like the N-word. And they were joking about how, like, they try to be mindful of, like, where they say that, and, like, how they have had teachers been like, hey, don't say this word in certain spaces, or be careful because people might not know what you're talking about. And it's like, there's sometimes that happens. And then if someone said to me, oh, no, this is a word for that, like, I'm not going to be offended. But I think that's, like, you wouldn't know unless you have been a part of that culture or have had any exposure. So it's like, if I got all up in arms and then someone says, oh, actually, I was saying this word, then I would have to apologize to that person for taking something out of context. But Jennifer Aniston has not apologized for her, you know, trying to, like, send Jamie Foxx to the gallows over something that is a miscommunication. And yes, like, I think that across the board, hate crimes for everyone have been going up.
Yes.
We are all very having a watchful eye on what people are saying in the media, because at this point, it doesn't matter who the person is, where they're from, what their background is. We know that people can be on hateful fuck shit.
Yes.
And that should always be called out when it's happening. But I think that there also has to be when brought new information, we take accountability and say, you know what, we fucked up. And all those other people, like random non-celebrities, they can't tweet or put out a message to Jamie Foxx and be like, you know what, Jamie, I apologize, we had it wrong. But you as Jennifer Aniston can. And I love Jennifer. I feel like I like her, like her
she's
movies.
She's a fine actress, yeah.
There's generally, if I see Jennifer Aniston in a movie, I feel like, you know what?
She's one of the brighter spots of Horrible Bosses.
Yeah, she was very good at that.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot. She is an actress, even though, like, you know, she came up with a time where it was just like these blonde, thin white women are in every movie, in every show, and some of them aren't really that great. But she's one where I'm like, you know what?
She's really talented.
I think she's talented. And even though I know that some black people are going to side-eye for me for this, I used to watch Friends. It was not because I thought it was the most hilarious show. It was on after I came home from school and I would watch it. And I thought it was cute. I liked following the different stories or whatever. Was it better than Living Single? No. Did I think it deserved more than Living Single? No. But I liked it. I watched it. I liked, Rachel and...
Yeah, go ahead and name them right now. All of them. You've got
Chandler.
one. Okay.
Phoebe.
Okay.
Ross.
Okay.
Rachel.
Okay. You're missing one. You're missing one.
And Monica.
There you go. You've named all of them.
Can
you name the monkey?
Oh, I don't remember the monkey's name.
Okay.
Do you remember the monkey's name?
No, I didn't watch that bullshit. I'm not watching Friends.
But no, like, I just feel like she's someone that I feel like I have appreciated her career. So this was like, you know, another white woman done let me down. Because why? Why? Mm-hmm. Why is this how you're behaving? And Jamie Foxx literally just got out of the hospital. All these people are
yeah, leave the man alone.
Hyping him up.
He's literally just recovered. Like, he's going through something right now.
And this is why he said #fake friends. He was talking about you.
Yeah.
You are the fake friend he was talking about.
I don't even know if Jennifer Aniston and Jamie Foxx have ever been in a movie together.
I don't think so, but I have seen them, like, in pictures together. She liked his page. Like, if you're a celebrity, it's not like you're liking random people. Like, you're at least going to have some sort of connection. And, you know, he has had a lot of white women in his orbit as a, celebrity. And I'm sure that they have hung out.
Sure.
And
They're probably running in the same circles.
Yeah. They've been around for the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Either way, fuck shit. But on to black fuck shit.
Yeah, this was really fucked up.
Again, the youths are being used. And it's something that's both understandable and frustrating. So there is a internet Twitch streamer named Cenat. Kai Cenat. I always confuse.
Is that what that is on the board?
That's what it says. Yeah.
Okay.
I always
definitely
want to say Cenat because of the actor.
You're thinking of Wyatt Cenac.
That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Anyway.
This is not him.
It's definitely not him.
About him.
But I do love you, Wyatt. You're great.
Yeah, Wyatt is dope. He actually was at the bar on one of my first dates that I ever went on with one of my exes.
Oh.
It was at Howard's, actually. We went to Howard's, and I think he was on the date, too, because he was right next to us at the bar. I told him that I loved his work and that I wasn't going to bother him anymore.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was
it's
cool.
a nice little interaction.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, someone who's not cool is Kai Cenat, he's a Twitch streamer. And, he's not a Twitch streamer that I personally look out for or would be interested. I'm not interested in his content. I've seen some of it because I know he had a really weird, cringy video with Nicki Minaj, and she was, asking him about sex, even though he's, 20 years old or 21 years old.
Sure.
But outside of that, I really do not know about him, except for when I hear random things about him online.
Mm-hmm.
So on August 4th, he tweeted out that he was going to have a meetup on August 4th in Union Square. He tweeted that it was going to be a fucking movie. And that he was going to have a giveaway.
Oh, wow. He's the most subscribed Twitch streamer of all time, surpassing Ludwig's record during a February 23rd subathon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was named Streamer of the Year at the 12th Streamy Awards and the 2023 Streamer Awards.
Oh, good for him. He is a young black man just trying to make it out here in this world, which I do not begrudge him.
Mm-hmm.
He's streaming, he's making his money, he's doing his thing, he's taking care of himself and his family. Love that for him. However, he does not seem to have the common sense of a naked mole rat, because he tweeted out that he was giving away things. He was supposed to be giving away PS5s. I think he was going to give away, was he giving away money?
No, he was giving away PS5s.
It was only PS5s?
Yeah.
Well, he tweeted that out, or twitched it out. He got it out to his followers.
Mm-hmm.
And about how many people was it? I just saw the number. There was more than 1,000 people that showed up. If you would have seen, it was a sea of people at Union Station.
Okay. Hold on. Wait. Here we go. In a live stream on August 2nd, he claimed that he would give away gift cards, headphones, gaming chairs, computers, webcams, keyboards, and microphones to attendees who could correctly answer questions about YouTube and live streaming. He called the mission, "Get off the streets and go stream." The video was streamed 2 million times, and that did not have a permit for the gathering. On the day of the giveaway, he posted on Twitter that he would be live streaming the event at 3:30 p.m.
Well, thousands of people showed up. They were jumping on cars.
Oh, and that he would give away PlayStation 5's consoles at 4 p.m. Yeah.
They were jumping on cars. They were destroying property. 65 people were injured, which is, both. And I don't know if those were people who were in the crowd or if they were people around it, but they were pushing buses. They were really making a mess. They were messing up construction. They were acting up. I mean, they were acting like children. The people that follow him are what did I say?
Majority.
Majority or majorly?
You said majorly. You meant majority.
Majority. Late teens, early 20s, people whose frontal lobes have not finished, forming. So they have terrible decision making and lots of hormones in their body and are just following whatever is happening in the crowd. And so the kids are out there. The police try to break them up. It turned into this now. They're protesting against the police. And honestly, seeing how many people he got out there for just fucking giveaways. I want him to use this power and turn it into action when we actually need to have the youth come out, protest, shake shit up, because like that's the type of energy we need. He got arrested for inciting a riot. And like I'm sure he's probably gonna get fined for whatever damages. And he should. This was stupid. You cannot have, if we said we're about to have a meetup at Prospect Park or Union Station or Union Square or wherever.
Well, first off, he didn't have a permit.
We would need a permit because even if for us, we don't have hundreds of thousands and millions of people viewing our page yet. And so if we put out a call to say, hey, come meet us in this park, maybe we're going to say if we got 100 people. That is a manageable amount. You don't need to have extra police.
I don't know about 100 people aren't manageable.
I think that 100 people is the
I'd say 24 are probably
You think that's the
manageable.
most manageable?
By us? Yeah.
Okay. Well,
24?
But you think 100 snerds are going to be coming around breaking shit up? Or are they going to be hanging out with a drink in their hand? Maybe, having a little, chilling out, listening to music, playing fucking Pokemon. Playing board games.
I think of that 100, maybe 5% of them would probably be
about that life.
Some
snerds are about that life, but I don't think the ones that would be coming would be trying to fuck shit up. They'd just be trying to have a good snerdy time. But even still, if we wanted to have something with a large amount of people, if it's even more than 20 or whatever, we would have to get a permit.
Yes.
To block off the space because people couldn't drive. They couldn't get on the train.
Stores had to close early.
If you've been to Union Square, you know that is right at the hub.
A direct fresh truck.
A fresh direct truck, yes.
Fresh direct truck.
And we're driving it through the streets. People could have gotten injured. Buses were being misrouted. Ambulance. All these things. There's a reason why you have a permit when you want to do something because they have to make sure that the resources are in place. And I am not by any means backing up or bigging up the police or any of these government municipalities. I'm only saying there's a reason why they have certain things the way that they are. Because you can't have a city with the amount of people that we have and just have random pop-ups like this because it's extremely disruptive. And when things are disrupted in that manner, it's like a cascading domino effect. That's just unnecessary. And so I hope that he doesn't have to go to jail and just pays his fine and goes forward and makes better decisions. There's no need for him to go to jail. There's rumors that allegedly, they're going to try to hit him with a RICO charge. I feel like those are just rumors. You can't have, if they hit him with a RICO charge, that means that there's something actually going on.
Yeah, he's Black Logan Paul.
Yes. Something would have to be going on. Maybe someone in his camp is doing something, who knows, but like I can't see them just lobbing this on him just for shits and gigs because he did this. But he needs to take like a community service. Go take a course on how to event planning and management and what it means when you have this amount of following, how you behave and interact with the public, because you have a lot of, what did they say in Spider-Man? With great power comes great responsibility. You can't just be having your crowds of fucking drugged up, drunken, hyped up kids on K2. Sound like such a grandma.
Yeah, you do.
Regardless of who it is, you can't. Nobody in their right mind needs to be doing this. This is ridiculous and silly. People could have gotten hurt.
Well, 65 people did get hurt.
Well, 65 people. Someone could have died.
Actually, sorry. 65 people were arrested in their participation of the riots. I think there is a figure for how many people were injured.
Let me see. I think I might have
injuries. At least 9 people were injured, according to the NYPD. 4 victims were transferred to Mount Sinai, with 2 others were transferred to Lenox Hill Hospital. 3 officers were injured. Don't care. Yeah. So there we go.
This is just it's too much. I understand his whole premise behind it. Get off the streets and go stream. 100% behind that. If we can have more of these kids, these black and brown low income kids, or from wherever, being able to learn how to like play games, coding, doing something different that's going to be able to help them and
STEM.
and STEM and entertainment that will help them get off the streets, do something different with their life, like and keep them safe. I am 100% for that. And you know who you could have partnered with to do that? The library, schools, any of these nonprofits. Like, there's so many ways you could have done all of this, still got the word out. You just have to, sometimes you have to go through the annoying, boring, like, hoops.
Bureaucracy exists for a reason.
It does.
Like,
If you've
there
ever
are
watched
specific
Parks and
channels to
Rec.
go through in order to do things the proper way, to prevent, riots from happening. So,
And the thing is, I don't necessarily want to call it a riot, because it wasn't like they were trying to be harmful or create like a disaster situation. It was just a crowd, a party that really went, or a event that became out of control. And I mean, like, a lot of people have been being really assholes towards the kids, or not even the kids, towards him because of this, and being very racist about it. And I just want to remind white people that every single time your sports team or your college does something, or anything happens, literally, y'all riot. There are plenty of times that downtown Boston has been completely demolished because a hockey team won, and now everybody's like pulling down fucking light fixtures, or whatever those things are called that have the little
light poles.
Light poles. So this is not a black thing or a brown thing or a poor people thing. This is a thing that people do because they're stupid. People are dumb. Why the aliens have continued to zoom past us, and why every time we try to talk to them when we're in the sky, they're like, getting the fuck out of here, because we're dumb. We do dumb things. The younger you are, the dumber you are. And this is what happens when you have a lot of dumb young kids outside without having anything to do during the summer, and just, being outside. Sometimes shit like this happens because children have no self-preservation. They don't have an idea of like future planning and thinking, and are very impulsive. And so this is what happens. And this initiative that he has sounds great. And I think that they should, instead of making him go to jail or anything like that, make him fund an actual program that will get people the equipment they need, the internet they need, and the resources and training, or whatever that is that you would need for all that. He should have to pay for it.
Sure. What's next?
Oh, we got other things. Sorry, forgot. Yeah. Well, we have some good stuff. That was the last of the bullshit. So first, actually no. One last thing about bullshit, because I'll do the good stuff at the end. Cardi B was in Las Vegas a few weeks ago, and she threw a microphone. Bless you. She threw a microphone at I believe the DJ. It was a concert goer or the DJ?
No, it was a concert goer. Okay.
Well, she threw it. I saw the video.
Yes.
But it looks like it said that maybe she got sprayed by something.
Yeah. Somebody threw a drink at her, or a liquid at her, and that's what caused her to throw the microphone.
Okay, wait, but so were there two microphone situations? There was one time where she was on stage outside. Someone threw a drink at her, and she was coming down. She was trying to come down at them, because the one where she threw the mic, she was on stage and it was dark, and like she threw the mic. But this is just another thing. She was allegedly going to have. They were trying to see if they were going to press charges because the show attendee said they wanted to report a battery, but she is not being charged with anything. And for some reason, the microphone is being allegedly auctioned off on eBay and has reached $99,000, which, I mean, y'all...
Get your money.
I guess.
Get your money. If I get hit with a microphone, I'm selling that shit on eBay. get as much money as
I want Beyonce
possible.
to throw something at me. Not
I
in
have
anger.
Cardi B's fingerprints on this fucking weapon.
I want Beyonce to
And-
throw like her shoe at me or something. I don't know, a headpiece.
Well, have a pretty big target.
Anyway, good for you, Cardi, for not being
Charged.
because I think people need to stop fucking throwing things at people when they're performing.
Yeah, just in general, don't throw anything
And
up
water?
on the stage or anything like
She
that.
could've
Just don't do
slipped.
that. Just don't do that. Yeah.
You know how much her outfits cost? Her hair, her makeup. Don't stop throwing things at people. It's ridiculous. But okay, on to some good news. Simone Biles, the absolute GOAT of gymnastics for her generation, is going to be going back to the Olympics.
That's
she
great.
She did her, like, I guess it was like the trials or whatever. And she got 10s across the board. So I'm very excited. Honestly, I would love to see her in Paris for the Olympics. Like, that would be chef's kiss.
Yeah, she took some time off for mental health concerns and self-care, and now she's getting back out there. Good, kudos on her for taking that time and doing what she needed to do, and now, you know, here's hoping that her career continues to flourish now that she's getting back out there.
Yeah, and you know, now she's newly married to her husband. Like, she's just, I feel like she's just having a lot of great things happening for her, and I'm very excited.
Sure.
So tennis player Coco Gauff, is it Gauff? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. She won her first ever WTA 500 title. So very excited for her. I would say that I don't really keep up with tennis unless the black girls are playing. Like,
Sure.
if there's not a black girl or a black guy, I don't care.
I'm not paying attention to the sport.
So I love to see her. I hadn't she did her little. She was just Millie rocking on the court after, you know, her win. She was just doing so cute. So, love her. And she's great. So, I'm glad to see that, you know, she's doing well. And I look forward for her achievements.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of tennis, guess who's having a little girl? Serena Williams.
Oh, she's pregnant again?
Remember, she was pregnant at the gala, at the Met Gala. We
I didn't
talked
know.
about this.
That was so long ago.
Yeah, she's about 7 or 8 months at this point. She had a baby shower. She might even be closer to 9 months. But her husband, Alexis, threw her a baby reveal, and it was really cute because in the beginning they had like the usual reveals. They had the cake. And they cut the cake and it was just yellow cake, so everyone was confused because he pranked her and he had drones go up in the sky, and it was like the drones like hit a tennis ball, and it was like what the color was, and it turned out to be a girl. So everyone was very excited.
All right. That's cool. So this is her second girl.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good on her.
Congratulations. We're so excited for you, these next little tennis stars, if that's what they want to do. Whatever they want to do, I want to see them thrive.
Yes.
But that's all we got for now. We're gonna
take a brief break, and we'll be back with
the mental health
more of the Black and Snerdy podcast.
What he said.
You're listening to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
Talking away, I don't know what I'm to say. I'll say it anyway. Today's another day to find you shining away. I'll be coming for your love, okay? Take on me.
Take on me.
Take me on.
Take on me.
I'll be gone in a day.
Great note.
Yeah, that was good. That, of course, is Take On Me by Aha, which is on the Super Mario Bros. Soundtrack.
It is.
Yes. Fun movie. Fun movie that, I guess I was high when I saw it because there was definitely some... Watch it again now that it's on Peacock. There were some moments in there that I did not remember. Yeah.
Yeah, well, sometimes it happens.
I might watch it again tonight. It
was
fun.
good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Are you ready to play the
What am I playing?
our drop in?
Our drop-in?
Yeah.
For which one?
The one that we do after you sing.
Okay. That is usually the mental health check-in. Of course, we are advocates and not experts when it comes to mental health. So we'd like to check in with each other to see how each other's mental health is doing. And that about sums it up. How are you doing this week as far as your mental health is concerned?
I would say this week is pretty good. I didn't have therapy this week. I go back next week.
Is your therapist on a solstice retreat?
No. My HSA was not taking out enough money for my therapy sessions every week, and I couldn't pay out of pocket this week. So I paused it, and I will be there next week.
Sure.
But yeah, I think things have been pretty okay. I mean, this week I definitely was having harder time focusing and all that. I mean, there's ADHD is regularly annoying, but when you are PMSing, your symptoms are even worse. And then when you're in your period, your symptoms are even worse. So it's been very difficult to have like energy to do things and feel motivated and have focus and to just like power through the way that I would usually do. But other than that, I think it's been a pretty good week.
Great. Sounds good. For the most part, pretty good. I can't really complain that much this week. No, mental health wise, I've been fine. I've been slowly transitioning into my new job, which is what it is. I am, doing what I can to make the best of the circumstances that I've been dealt.
Yeah.
And, luckily I have friends and people around me that I can sort of talk to about the situation itself. But otherwise, mental health-wise, I've been fine.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yes.
Well, we are in our mental health section, and sometimes I like to bring things up.
Sure.
That I've seen in socials. There's a video that I've actually pull up. To give some context, there's a woman seems to be maybe at church or something like that, and there's a woman there who knows a little bit about her son's situation. Her son allegedly has ADHD from the caption of the video, and this is what the woman is telling the mother of this young boy who looks like he's about like 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, yeah. Gotta stop muting it.
It
mutes automatically. Yeah, here we go.
You speak that over him. The doctor's job is to diagnose. Your job is to believe the report of the Lord. You speak life over him. And don't make him feel inadequate or different. And don't handicap him. He's excited about life. He should be. He's blessed. Father God, I thank you that Kirsten will have an amazing testimony and that you will prove all the doctors and the teachers wrong this day. We bind autism. We come against ADHD right now in the name of Jesus. We break that.
Okay. So that was the clip. Is this the kid's mother?
The kid's mother? No, that's the pastor or whatever at the church.
Oh, okay.
So here's the problem that I have with this video. I do not think it is weird or wrong for you to go to church or any of your spiritual places and to ask for help and assistance in dealing with your mental health and helping you like with whatever you might be dealing with or struggling with or whatever the case may be. But it is extremely what is it? Not irrational. What is the word? Not unethical, dangerous for you to act as if a mental health issue, whatever it is, or a developmental issue, something that your brain is doing outside of its own self, is something that could just be prayed away. Like, yes, a doctor is going to give you a diagnosis. And God, the ancestors, all of that. They can help you see the best in the situation and not have it like, be this only thing in your life. But you can not only thing that is going to help you if you have ADHD or autism or anything that has to do with the chemicals of your brain being different is through resources, therapy, medication if possible, not prayer. If you could pray away ADHD, I would be a fucking lawyer by now. Like, I would have a Pulitzer. I would be just all of the dreams that I have written down would be executed. It would have already happened. And there would be no need for medicine or doctors. They would pretty much be out of work. And this is very frustrating because Black children already have a higher likelihood of not being believed, not being supported, not being diagnosed with mental health issues. And you don't need people in your life, in your head, who are supposed to be like leaders in your community telling you this bullshit. Right. And the little baby just looking up, all confused, like, what's going on? Like, yeah, you should not, if your child has something going on with them, it is not your job to make them feel othered. They can have something different from other kids while also recognizing that there's something different about them. They might have to work a little differently, work a little harder, like use more resources or whatever the case may be. But that does not mean that they are somehow bad, weird, etc. But that has nothing to do with them acknowledging that they have a mental health issue.
Yeah. I was actually reading some of the comments, and this person said religion in the Black community most of the times is a scam.
Yeah, because how much money are you getting from that mom and her son when they're tithing? Are you going to be coming over to their house to make sure that the ADHD and the autism isn't binding him? Are you going to come over and do speech therapy? Are you going to do behavioral therapy? Are you going to work with him on time management and focus things? Like, what are you going to be doing besides laying hands on him, yelling and screaming, and invalidating his diagnosis?
Yeah.
That's my big question.
Yeah.
Did you have any other thoughts on that?
Not really. I just think that in general, like, just make a kid feel like a kid. You know what I mean? Like, yes, at a certain age, like, work with the kid if they are, like, diagnosed with something, mental disorder or something like that. Like, work with them to make sure, like you said, that they don't feel othered. Give them, like, a high quality of life and just, like, allow them to be a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about this, like, laying hands and, just allowing. Maybe I'm just weird about, like, strangers or even non-family members laying hands on kids and stuff like that. But this video is a little bit uncomfortable for me.
I mean, the thing is, if I had a church and, like, I've been going there for a while, I've gone there, I have my family there, my children have been there since birth, whatever. It's not that it would be weird for the pastor to lay hands on them, to prophesy or talk, whatever. But you can't, I think that you're right to be feeling cringy and weird because you can't just let anybody lay hands on you.
Yeah.
Because this person's laying hands on this boy and is speaking foolishness into his life.
Right.
It's not going to be helpful. It's not going to do anything for him. And he's confused. He doesn't even know what's going on. The mom is obviously overwhelmed and sad, and she's crying in the video. You can tell she's emotional. She probably is trying to have a lot to deal with. Having a child with a developmental or behavioral issues is very stressful. It could take a toll on the family and all that. I'm sure she's just trying to do the best she can for her son. And this woman is taking advantage of that, and I hate that. I hate that in church, a lot of these churches, and not even just churches. It doesn't matter if it's Christianity or not. There are people who will take advantage of others because they know they are looking for help, support, and assistance, and they will use their closeness to whomever the deity is to try and act like they know better than everyone. And it's just not true. God would not have divined medicine, medical treatments, drugs, whatever. They would not have been put in someone's brain if it was not meant for use. Overuse, no. Overdiagnosis, misdiagnosis, those things happen. But if a doctor is telling you that you trust, is telling you, hey, there's something going on with your child, we need to look into this more, believe them, get the help for your child. It doesn't necessarily have to be medicine. But behavioral therapy is something that works really well. I can't take a medicine to help with my executive functions. But if I could get a behavioral therapist to work with me with different scenarios, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that's something that's helpful. That's something that you could have a resource to put into practice when you're in school, at work, or just living your daily life. So it's just, people, please go to the doctor, listen to your doctor, go to a therapist to figure out the things that are going to work for you and move that way.
Yeah. Do you have a question?
Oh, shit. We didn't do the questions.
Yeah.
I do have one.
Yeah, we can do it now.
What physical attribute makes you insecure even though you know it's silly?
Physical attribute that makes me insecure. Well, I constantly have dreams about losing my teeth, so there's that. But I don't know, I actually don't know. I don't know if I'm insecure about anything about me, though. I'm pretty handsome, and maybe my height, I would say.
Is that
maybe a little bit insecure about my height, even though I know that I'm the average size for a man.
Yeah.
5'7" is the average height. I'm 5'7.5", so I'm a little bit above average.
Yeah.
But the world, society looks at taller men with more, gusto and appreciation, So shout out to all my short kings out there.
I mean, even though I'm a woman and being shorter is something that people are like, oh, that's really good for a woman. I feel insecure about my height because I feel like people have always joked on me about it, and I don't like it because it kind of feels, honestly, it kind of feels a little ableist.
Is it ableist?
Yeah, because if you're joking on someone about their height, and then you're calling them, if you're calling someone a little person, and you're calling them that because you're saying, oh, little people are great. You're calling them a little person because you're making fun of them for being small, and you're equating them to a smaller person, a little person who has an actual, height.
Do people call you little people?
Some people
usually
do.
just say short.
No, some people
shorty.
Some people I have been called a little person and the M word many times.
And the M word?
Yes.
You've been called the M word?
Yes.
As an adult?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Just because they haven't said it in front of you doesn't mean they haven't said it.
I'm not saying it has to be in front of me.
Yeah, people have called me that, and I find it rude. And I find that my height, I feel like people don't respect me as much because of my height, because they think that I'm just this cute little woman. Oh, she's so adorable. She's so adorable and cute. Yes, I am adorable. Sure. That's not something to be denied. But I
don't know about cute. I think you can do cute things. I don't know if you are inherently cute. No, some people are oh, there's people who are funny and people who say funny things. I think you do cute things. I don't know if I'd call you cute. Like a child cute? Like a puppy cute? Where are you on the barometer of cuteness?
Anyway, my thing is I have a little piece of, in the back of my head, I have a little extra head in the back there. It's a little bit, and it's been around forever. Since I was a little kid, I've always had a little extra
yes
piece of me. I like to call it a little sausage.
It's
a little bit of a
better
little
than
sausage
what
roll.
I was gonna call it.
Yeah, I'm sure because I'm not an asshole.
You can be.
There's a little bit of a sausage back there. And that makes me feel insecure. So even though I'll have my head shaved, but if I see a picture and I can see that in the back of my head, I don't like it.
I see.
It makes me feel insecure.
All right.
And I know that that's like a silly thing, but I don't like it. I want to get like a plastic surgery on my head for them to cut that off.
I don't know if that exists.
They can do anything. They can do anything with plastic surgery. Yeah, they can.
I don't think they can.
They're gonna find the little sausage roll. They're gonna slip off the extra, and they're gonna sew it up. And I already wear my hair like short a lot of the back anyway, so it's not gonna be like, oh my god, they had to cut my hair. I cut my hair all the time.
No, you don't cut your hair all the time.
It gets cut.
Yes, it gets cut for sure. It gets cut. Ugh, ridiculous. Anyhow, what's next?
Well, the next part is one of my favorite parts of the week.
All right, the things that we are pissed off about.
Bringing it. What? We gripe it. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe it. This safe space for us to share. We gripe it. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe it.
What are you angry about this week?
So, I just want to say that, and I got to word this very specifically. I think that if you are, I personally just don't think that brick and mortar retail clothing stores need to exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think. I understand the value of trying something on.
Mm-hmm.
However, we are now in a world, in a society where if something doesn't fit, you can just exchange it. You can buy it online. You can ship it back. Sure, it'll take some time to get the right thing, but you can do all this stuff from the comfort of your home. There's no need to go into an establishment, try shit on, leave shit all over the place. I just... Look, I as somebody who used to work in retail, and I just hate when customers, clients, whatever you want to call them, come in and start touching shit.
And not putting it back.
And not putting it back, not folding it back.
Because it's different if you're just like, if you just kind of open it up and you put it back, but you're not making it like a mess. But why do you need to like...
My mom always taught me, if you're not going to buy it, don't touch it.
Well, I'm going to touch it, but I'm not going to make a mess. Because I also worked in retail.
I would
and that's
probably dislike you too.
But when I worked at Forever...
touching everything.
When I worked at Forever 21, I remember a mom coming in, and I was working downstairs at the Roosevelt Mall, and her like toddler just came and just pushed... like playing, because they're a kid, pushed a whole thing of folded sweaters onto the ground. And this bitch just looked at me like, oh, I'm sorry. Pick the shit up! Why are you looking at me? Pick it up!
I just don't think we, as a society, need clothing stores anymore. We don't need them.
Well, maybe we don't
need... We just don't.
What if, you know what I wonder if this would work. If instead of having, like you could try the clothes on in the store, but they don't have all the clothes in the store. Like you try the clothes on, you like them, and then they just ship them to your house. But then they would have to have like a certain amount of clothes available for people to try on.
Yeah. Like
3 each. I think three of each size. Cause
but then think like now you're because that gets into like an even grosser thing where like even
you're
if
wearing the same thing,
you're wearing the same thing that people are wearing over and over. That's also just why I don't like trying clothes on at a fucking store. I don't know whose body this bullshit has been on, and I'm gonna take it home to wear.
But that's why they say to wash your clothes. But you should wash your clothes whether you get them from the factory or from a store. Because if at a factory, you're going to have all those bugs and rodents and all that, possibly people touching them. But in a store, well, you're going to have bugs and rodents possibly as well. But also the people wearing them.
And I also hate the fucking Target on Church Avenue. Like, I never will go back there. It's never happening ever again.
Why?
That place is disorganized.
Not surprised.
It's fucking chaos in there.
Not surprised.
And the old people there are rude. Like, this old lady jumped in front of me just because the self-checkout line was taking too long, and I didn't see. There was a box on one of the things, and I couldn't see everything that was all over there near the self-checkout, so she fucking jumps ahead of me and was like, oh, you're taking too long. I'm like, if you don't get your wrinkly
Did you
old
say,
ass.
excuse me, I'm next?
No, I didn't. I just...
You should have.
Just
Just because you're old doesn't mean you get to be rude.
Yeah.
Because if she would have said, oh, excuse me, do you mind if I go ahead? Yeah, fine.
Not the fucking applesauce that she has to grind her pills into in order to take her fucking pills out of her fucking hand.
Her Prilosec OCT.
Bullshit. What else? I think that's it for the most part. Oh, you know what? I also just hate retail in general because, like, the people working there aren't getting paid nearly as much as they should.
Yeah.
Like, for having any customer service job where you have to deal with people in live action, you should be making at least 60 to 70K.
Yeah.
Because
people are rude.
People are obnoxious.
You're supposed to be here. You're helping them with a bunch of stuff.
You're on your feet all fucking day.
Yeah.
It's
have very labor intensive.
It's very labor intensive. You have to deal with there's a finite amount of people on the floor, and there's like crowds of people coming into the store asking all sorts of questions and shit like that, and wanting your attention and everything like that. Y'all should be paid like really well.
Yeah.
You know, like not
multitask.
You have to multitask. You get the like fucking box up there bullshit.
Lift stuff up.
You know, like it's
a lot.
It is a lot. But that's everything that's making me pissed off this week. What about you?
Rats.
Oh, and fucking rats. Just a fucking rat parade going on.
I'm so mad at the bread. I'm so mad.
I am. Yeah.
Rats are horrible, disgusting, and they're gross. They're everywhere in New York.
Rats, bugs, ants. Fucking refrigerators that don't work.
Wasting food.
Food getting wasted.
Ugh. I hate that. Okay, so that's like, I think that was my main thing outside of the news cycle. But these are a few things that I saw that pissed me off this week. Number one. Oh, you should pull up the gyno. That's going to be next. So, I saw this video. Jamel Hill, the journalist, tweeted out about a black family that was on an AAU trip, was harassed by the Frisco, Texas police, and they stopped the family. They were pulling guns out on them, and some of these are like AAU basketball is like high school. So this black family with their children, the son, the father and the son, I saw at least, being pulled out of the car, guns pointed at them, crying, upset. And the reason why was because the police thought the car was stolen. And why did they think the car was stolen? Because these asshats did not know the abbreviation for Arkansas. Now, I remember when I was in elementary school, we had to learn all the states. We had to learn all of their abbreviations. We had to learn them in alphabetical order. We had to put them on the map. It was a whole thing. Apparently, in Texas, they want to cut every other piece of education. They perhaps don't do that as well.
Is it AR or AK? Arizona's AR.
Arizona's
AZ.
AZ.
Yeah.
The Arkansas is AR. And they put that, the police officers put the abbreviation as AZ in the little, the database. It popped up as stolen. Mm-hmm. But that's not where they're from. And if you see a man and his child in a car, like, not to say that, he couldn't have had a stolen car with this child in it, but why are you drawing your guns on both of them? It wasn't just like they just drew their guns on the father and was like, oh, this is, a stolen car. We need to check this out. The little boy is terrorized. He's crying. His father's crying. It was really disgusting. And just, I want those police officers to be fired. I hope the family sues. It takes that whole police department's money. And it's just like, thank God they didn't die or they weren't physically harmed. But that child's forever going to remember his AAU tournament marred by this terrible police interaction. And it was just really shitty. And it doesn't make any sense. And regardless of the color of the person in the car, this is not just, this happens to Black people the most. But this happens to people all the time because the police act as if they are the judge and jury when they are on the road. Like, this is the wild, wild west, and they can do whatever they want, and there's no recourse. Besides, oh, sorry. The police officer's like, oh, sorry, we checked again, and we saw, like, don't fucking apologize to me now when you were pointing a gun at my freaking child. That's insanity. That was number one. Number two. There's this Black man, a gynecologist, who's also, like, one of those social media gynecologists. His Instagram name is Dr. P23. And so please play this clip that he put up on his TikTok, because I was listening to it the other day and I was just grossed out.
Yo, I need help understanding why certain women will only go to female gynecologists, even when you need major surgery. So when you're looking for BBLs or liposuction, these same women will fly all over the country to find the best doctor with the best deals. They're looking for the best. Or if they're getting their hair done, makeup, eyelashes, you name it. It doesn't matter if it's a man, woman, whoever is the best, they're going to find them to get their hair done. It don't matter if it's a man. But if you need surgery on one of the most important things of your body and your future, it has to be a woman. That's kind of like me saying, hey, if I have an issue with my prostate, I only could go to a man because he has a penis and he has a prostate. Women don't have it. So I exclude all of the phenomenal women surgeons because I need a man. Somebody please make it make sense for me, because I'll have women that'll DM me after their surgery to ask my opinion about their surgery that they had, right? But they won't never come to me because I'm a man. So please, somebody make it make sense of why everything else doesn't matter about gender. But
so after I saw that cringy post going around, I also saw that he had posted a picture of he and his sister on his Instagram from, I think it's like 2021, where he's like basically excited because his sister is his patient. And I feel like, as a doctor, I think that...
Sorry. Just I thought I saw this.
It's true.
Yeah.
As a doctor, I feel like you should treat your family. But I don't know if I would be going to my brother as my gynecologist. I feel like at that point, it's a little too close.
There are just certain things that siblings shouldn't know about
their
each other.
Bodies. Yes. Unless he's the only
one
doctor.
Of which is body parts.
Yeah.
Private body parts.
Or what I'm doing with them. Or what's going on with them.
Yeah.
Outside of me telling you, like, hey, something's happening. Like, I don't need you to be up close and personal.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about this, well, not the weird, but, like, people went, of course, and looked into his little reviews. So he has, like, 1 star in the little, like, doctor Yelp review stuff. Women that saw him did not like him. And the fact that you're a male doctor who's a gynecologist, I don't think male gynecologists are weird. For the longest time, men were the only gynecologists. So It's not surprising that one would be one. It's a medical specialty. That's important. We need to have people in that. But you can't be weirded out because a woman does not want you to be her doctor. I have had, I want to say maybe 1 male gynecologist, and I did not want another one. He was not weird. He wasn't cringy. He was very nice. But I didn't want to be talking about, it was at Howard, and he was like this old uncle, and he was telling, like, we're in the middle of the pap smear, He's talking to me about how his daughter lives in New York and like what she's up to. And I know he was doing that to like make me feel comfortable. We're creating rapport. He was a very nice old man. But I 100% do not want a male gynecologist. I do not want one.
Yeah.
Only time I would want a male gynecologist is if he was if he transitioned, if he was a trans man.
Okay.
That's the only reason I would want. That's the only time I would want a male gynecologist. Other than that, I would like a woman. That is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. A woman has. If I want I don't even want a woman. I want a person with a vagina. I want someone who knows what I'm dealing with to be able to assist me, to be able to know what's going on, if I have any questions. And there's so many women who have had weird interactions with male gynecologists. I was like, when the post came out, I was looking like through the comments. One woman said like she has a piercing down there. Mm-hmm. When the gynecologist went down there, he was like, "Oh, a treat for me." That's gross.
It is gross.
Another gross. Male gynecologist told a woman like, "Oh, I wish my girlfriend's vagina looked like yours." Gross. Just there's so many more stories like that. Like, or even the bare minimum of not being creepy, but not necessarily believing you. Do you know how many women across socioeconomic levels, across colors, I found out recently a nurse was doing egg retrieval for women with IVF. I forgot where in the country it was. She was doing the process of retrieving the eggs without any. She was using saline and not putting the actual like pain relieving medicine. The nurse did that, and the doctors were not believing or listening to the women when they were telling them like, this hurts, like this is an abnormal amount of pain. Mm-hmm. And so if women can't even tell their doctors when they're in pain and actually get treatment, and regardless of what the doctor's gender is, so you think that I'm going to trust that a person who's never had a period, who's never had like their boobs hurt randomly, or any of the things that go on with your vagina, I'm not going to want to talk to you about it because you don't know what I'm talking about. I don't have a penis. If a person with a penis came into my doctor's office and was telling me something that is foreign to me, how am I going to be able to necessarily, I could be empathetic, but I'm not necessarily going to know. So I don't understand why it would be a problem if someone didn't want to come to my office because I don't have a penis. Because I can't necessarily, like, what's the word? Understand fully what they are going through because I don't have their parts. What else? Oh, well, this last one is both a hate and a sad. So, Lizzo. Did we talk about Lizzo last week at all?
No, we didn't.
We did not.
It happened this week.
It just happened this week. Okay. So, Lizzo, the pop singer, rapper, very talented person in media. It has come to our attention that she has gotten a lawsuit against her and people on her staff by 3 of her former backup dancers. They are accusing her of bullying and sexual harassment. They said that she made comments about their weight, that they were forced to go to like clubs, and one of the women was saying she was forced by, coerced into touching a woman's breast at one of these shows they went to in another country. And they recently sat down with TMZ and were talking about the case. So you can play that.
Were these demands or suggestions made by Lizzo, as you say, were they direct, where they said, I really want you to do it? Or was it more, I'm afraid if I don't, I might get fired?
Yeah, I think for both of us, there was like this always looming feeling of thinking that if you didn't do something or you didn't adhere to certain suggestions or demands that your job could be in jeopardy, have fun with her and, go along with like what she was doing and, be down for anything that they were favored. They were hired for more shows. They were invited on, like private jets and to do cool things and, could hang out with her in like tropical settings like Hawaii and stuff like that. Some of our coworkers, it's just like there was no line between professionalism and personal. And so we had in our minds that if we weren't, down for anything, that we would then be ostracized later. It was this unspoken thing in the camp that if you weren't super fun, like if you like skipped out on all of the like outings and all that stuff, that you wouldn't be seen in good favor from Lizzo, and that you would then not be considered like one of the people that is like cool and down for anything, and then therefore not be booked for as many jobs.
Now Lizzo has responded, and it was a very long Instagram press release, as people do. But she says, the last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. I am not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I am not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I am very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight. As an artist, I've always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and my performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team. I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out and support during this difficult time, blah, blah, blah. So the allegations about Lizzo are that she body shamed one of the women, and then because she like was gaining weight on tour, they forced her to say that basically they forced her into disclosing she had a eating disorder and were judging her about it. Another one was saying that someone tried to make her eat. Another allegation was that someone tried to make one of the dancers eat a banana out of a woman's vagina at one of these like clubs that they went to. That the captain, her last name is Quigley, I just lost it. That the captain, the dance captain Charlene Quigley, was a very Christian woman who was trying to force her religion on them and was berating them for not being virgins. One of the women said that she was like falsely imprisoned because she had recorded a conversation, and due to like having anxiety and wanting to be able to process it later, and they wouldn't let her go until she deleted the conversation. Now, all this has come out, and it is making me very sad that this is even happening, because as much as I'm not necessarily like a Lizzo stan, she is someone that I've always really enjoyed musically. Yeah. Like, I liked her albums. I've always wanted to see her in concert because I know that she would give like a really good show. But this has just been very disheartening. And it's like, I feel like whether everything that they're saying is true, or if her forcing them is true, I think there are some things where it can be feelings based and some things where it's fact based. If I am at a workplace and I'm with these people all the time and I am noticing that some people are getting preferential treatment and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to keep my longevity in that place, I would try to maneuver to do those things. That is not harassment. But if in the course of doing these things, I am now being then pressured and coerced and forced into doing things that make me uncomfortable, then that is bullying. Or if my weight is being scrutinized, or if I'm being unfairly criticized and judged and yelled at and berated, all those things I think are harassment. It's abuse. Even if it's like you could have standards are different than being a bully. So I'm looking forward. Well, I won't say looking forward, but I would like to see how this progresses. I doubt this is going to actually impact Lizzo's career in the long term. I think she allegedly lost like 220,000 followers, but I don't think this is actually going to be something that's going to like stop her from being a star, especially because I will say when the women talk to TMZ, maybe because it's still an ongoing case, but they weren't, I wish that they would have maybe written certain things down or had better receipts, because what they were talking about sounds very flimsy. So in the sense of like how people will respond to them saying like, oh, you know, I wanted to be like the cool kids, and I knew that she wouldn't necessarily like me as much, so I wasn't going. Those things are all I understand, but it didn't make their case. But that doesn't mean I don't believe them. It just means that I hope that they have more concrete things to like bring to the world. But this is very sad. I hope that whatever happens, Lizzo takes these people's words to heart. She also does some soul searching and figures out, am I creating a hostile work environment for the people that I'm working with? And, side note, outside of the lawsuit, the woman that was with her boyfriend that she's with right now, allegedly he was with a woman for 10 years, and Lizzo, she's alleging now that Lizzo stole him from her, which is no one can steal another person.
Yeah.
You think so?
I'm saying like that's not that.
You don't think that's? It's not. That doesn't mean that that doesn't say that she's abusive. It just it's kind of like, I think that when that came out after that woman came out after this whole thing came out as another like, see, Lizzo is a shady person because look at what she did. Like it
sounds like it's the boyfriend who cheated on.
The boyfriend who's the one who cheated, so he's the one that deserves most of the ire. Yeah. However, I think the way the woman described it was, I think that they knew, like she knew that they were together, and like she, I guess seduced him away. Which to me, both people in that point are at fault, because if you know someone's in a relationship and they're not like, there's no openness or polyness or whatever, then you should be leaving them alone. Like, leave that person in their relationship alone, and they should be leaving you alone. But I think at that point, both of them are at fault. But either way, we've just been getting a lot of bad Lizzo news this week, and that I hate that because it makes me sad, because I do really like Lizzo, or I've enjoyed her work. But that's it. We can go on to the RIPs.
Sure. And this week, as always, we, carve out some time in our podcast to pay tribute to those who are no longer with us. These are the RIPs, or rest in power.
So you think you know Wix?
Okay. No, I don't know Wix. And I don't want to know Wix. And I'm not getting YouTube bread. So that's just what it's going to be.
Just play the song.
I'm playing it.
Okay, so this week has been, I feel like, a very sad week in our community, because we've lost a lot of people that were important, whether for the culture or just, tragic deaths that did not need to happen. So first, we want to send our love to O'Shea Sibley.
Oh, we talked about him last week.
No, this just happened.
He was the dancer who got stabbed.
Yeah, we talked about him?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're going to talk about him again, because he had, we still want to send RIP to him and to his family and friends. But also the man who, or the person who allegedly stabbed him has been arrested. And there was a beautiful memorial for him at the gas station where he was stabbed. Hundreds of people came out and were dancing and voguing in his honor. And they were also vigils for him like that around the country. And even Beyonce, she posted up a picture of him on her page, which, I mean, she usually does that when someone notable has passed, but it was very nice to see that, like, he got that memorial from her because obviously she was someone that he loved a lot, so that was, a little shine in what happened to him. But we are still sending his family our love. And also this week, another gay icon, legend in New York City, Carmen Extravaganza, the mother of the House of Extravaganza, passed away. And if you've ever seen Paris is Burning, you will notice her. She's in there. And it was very surprising when this happened because I just saw a tweet of her and one of the other people who were in Paris is Burning, and they were together, and I was just so excited because I'm like, when Paris is Burning came out, I mean, it's been 30-something years. And so many of the people in the film, like towards the end of the film, that so many of them passed away, and I just always assumed that at this point there were not many of the cast left. And so it was so nice to see, like, they were there, and I was like, I hope that we can get, a Where Are They Now, and that they could get, like, they could do another documentary, and then they would get paid from this one, because the first one, they actually didn't get paid, and it was like a whole thing. So it's sad to see that Carmen Extravaganza is gone, but she left such a indelible mark on the ballroom culture, and we're just, thank you for all of you've done. And then also this week, Charles Ogletree, who was a civil rights advocate for equality and human rights and social justice, and a faculty member of Harvard Law School, passed away this week. And there were so many wonderful tributes to him from Black people who had met him and who had interacted with him, whether as in his class or as colleagues. So of course we want to send him and all of his loved ones our love. And this last one is definitely like a heart-wrenching, and we just are sending our prayers to Fahar Atiya Williams. She was a 6-year-old that died on a school bus last week in Jersey. She was in a wheelchair, and the bus monitor didn't notice that she had slipped in her wheelchair, and the seatbelt was restricting her ability to breathe. And because the woman wasn't monitoring her the way she should have, she had like headphones on, and no one was hearing her, basically like asking for help, and she passed away. So this is just such a senseless death, and she was so young, but we are hoping that her family and her loved ones can find peace, and just a reminder that take care of the people that you are supposed to be taking care of, whether you're at work, at home, regardless. Just be observant, pay attention, because you never know when someone might need your help. That's it.
Okay. And also the dude from the HBO show.
Which HBO show?
Zendaya's
yes.
show.
From Better Call Saul. Hold on.
Oh no! Oh yeah. So him too. T.O. something.
Man, I just lost his name. But who was what HBO show?
The Zendaya show.
Oh yes, from Euphoria. Hold on, I'm looking up. You look up the name for Euphoria. I'm looking up from Better Call Saul. Yes, Mark.
August Cloud.
August Cloud. Yeah. R.I.P. He was only 25 years old.
Yes.
Such a long life ahead of him. And what's ironic is I remember when he came out, I was like, I would love for him to play Mac Miller. I felt like they had a very similar look.
He did have a similar look to Mac Miller.
But unfortunately, died young. Mark Margulies, who, he's been in so many things. Most recently,
him in, Oz.
Yeah, that's how I first saw him in Oz. I think you would know him from Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. He was in Scarface. Just a prolific actor.
Yeah.
So, of course, even though he had a long career and long life, we are still sending our love to his family and his loved ones because it's never long enough with the people that we love.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
All right. Now, to lighten the mood, let's focus on the things that made us happy this week.
I'm the baby merchant. Tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
So what's making you happy this week?
Well, I went to the beach yesterday. That was very fun. But we went to the beach.
Yes.
That was very fun.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go to Robert Moses, a beach that I grew up going to, which was very joyful. It was also very nostalgic. I was getting a little bit emotional of being there. It's like the place has not changed since I was a child. It looks exactly the same, which is amazing. That so many things just kind of stand still while the world's changing around it. But that was dope. What else? There were some other good things that happened. I have a story before us, but there was other things. Well, that's the main thing, I think.
Okay.
If I can't remember it, I'll think about it and I'll mention it next week.
Sure.
But okay, one thing that made me happy this week is there in Alabama, there's a boat tour that was happening. Or one of those old steamboats was going up and down the river over there. It was trying to dock, and these people had their boat at the pier. This black security guard or worker with the boat told them to move. They wouldn't move, so he tried moving their boat himself. They then proceeded to try and jump him because they got mad, were angry. They tried to jump him. Now it turns into then the Avengers. What was the one with Thanos? That was the last
Endgame.
one. Endgame. The Endgame was after he did the snap.
Yes.
So it was like an Avengers Endgame moment where you literally see all these black people running from all parts of this pier. Then you see one of the workers on the boat jumps off the boat, which is it's not crazy far from the pier. Mm-hmm. Enough where he jumps off, swims to what is it called? Is that the pier still?
Yeah, the pier.
Swims to the pier.
The
dock. And begins to beat these white men's asses. Yeah. And it was amazing. It then turned into all these black men and black people have ran on to the defense of this white man because he's being jumped by these white people. And then everyone's just getting involved. And honestly, it was the best thing I saw all week. I really hope they don't get fired. I hope that none of the crew gets fired. Because all of them, they literally, the moment that the boat docked or at the pier, all of those workers got out and were like, you're not about to fuck with my mans. Yeah. They were all ready for the smoke. And I just feel like that is the type of solidarity we need. If you see me getting jumped and you don't jump into the water to swim to my aid, are we really friends? We can't be. Because you better be coming for their asses.
Yeah, it was.
All right.
I just saw a white woman get knocked out too.
Oh yeah, and then this older black man who was on the boat had a foldable chair and was just it was like the WWE. He was just knocking them out the park. Yeah. Everybody was getting it. Even the police were there. It wasn't like the police weren't there. The police were just standing around like looking like y'all got them fucked up. You fucked around and found out.
Yeah.
The white people
got pushed in the water too. That was funny.
Yes. And the white people ended up getting arrested, and someone on the internet just did the Lord's work and found out that the white man is allegedly the owner of Vassar's Mini Mart in Salem, Alabama. Allegedly, his name is Chris Shipman. And the people, like, they went, of course, did the whole looking thing. He has a lot of pictures of himself on this boat with him and his white wife. And, just, I guess, maybe y'all can go up there and talk to him.
Yeah.
Go up there, give him a review. Don't hurt him. Just have a conversation. And somebody, whoever that black man was with the afro that was shining to the sky, somebody find him. Get him a GoFundMe, because this was perfect. And it made me think, like there's been that controversy of that Jason, I think his name is Jason Aldean song, Try That in a Small Town. Mm-hmm. This is what's going to happen in a small town. If y'all fuck around, you're going to fuck around and find out. The white people are going to get up on their high horses and get knocked the fuck down. Yeah. Don't be racist.
Gotta make sure that you're not. Yeah, the black women were fucking up the white woman. God,
keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah, he's getting hit in the head with a folding chair.
Keep your hand to yourself.
Funny.
Nobody would touch you if you didn't touch them. That security guard or worker on the boat or for the boat company did his job. Y'all always want to talk about police doing their job. He wasn't doing their jobs. Do your job. He was doing his job.
Yeah, they said Wakanda forever.
And they all came out. Like the little, what's his name that does the spiral and everyone comes out? He was there.
Yeah.
And it was perfect.
Doctor Strange. Anyhow.
No, it wasn't Doctor Strange. It's the master.
Who does this?
No, I know Doctor Strange is that. What is the name of the guy who he wrote? Yes, thank you.
Okay.
That's who did it in Doctor Strange. Okay. Or sorry, in Endgame. Okay, your turn. What made you happy this week?
Well, spending time with my family, doing this podcast with you, and I guess
you saw Sam.
Yeah, I hung out with Sam. That was cool, and not a very eventful week, I have to say.
Well, what made me happy also was doing this podcast with you.
Yes.
And then to spend time with you.
Yes.
And also, I got to see Lauren.
Yes, that's always good.
And then I haven't gotten to see her in a while, so very excited.
All right, yeah. Well, if that's everything, that's everything. Thank you again for checking out the podcast. Make sure you do all the things that we say in the end of the video or the music. And stay tuned until next time.
See you then.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD. THATSOD.E, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.